Good evening, everyone. This is Mike O'Malley here with the Hurricane Outlook and discussion for September 24th, 2019, occurred around 6:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A lot to watch here in the tropics today, starting with Tropical Storm Jerry, which continues to be a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm moving north at 6 miles per hour now. This is expected to come rather close to Bermuda, and Bermuda is under a tropical storm warning at this point in time. This is expected to pass right near or over Bermuda at this current time, and then weaken to a depression sometime by tomorrow afternoon. You can see, or by Thursday afternoon rather, you can see that this is still anemically devoid of any convection here on the visible satellite. You can definitely see that we do not have any convection around the center. We backed this up just a couple of frames, and you do notice that there's a pretty still well-established central circulation here as it continues to head sort of north and then bend off towards the north and east. This is Bermuda right over here, so this will be coming pretty close to Bermuda at this point in time. But over the next few days, there's really not going to be anything that's going to keep Jerry alive here. And as such, this is expected to weaken pretty significantly here. You can see there's really no convection to maintain the central pressure, and overall the pressure will continue to rise, and that will promote rapid weakening at that point in time. There will be some strong bands of showers and thunderstorms that do rotate in from time to time into Bermuda, and this will cause some tropical storm force winds. Certainly, tropical storm force gusts are certainly possible, along with very heavy rainfall. That is certainly to be expected as this continues to move off towards the north and eventually northeast, and eventually then, within a couple of days, make that east turn and maybe even make it south east, sort of. So a lot to watch here with Jerry there, but for the main part, just some gusty winds and rainfall, certainly a big problem there for Bermuda. Looking at Tropical Storm Jerry, still 45-mile-per-hour sustained winds moving north at 8 miles per hour. You can see here in the visible or in the IR satellite presentation. Notice that we've had sort of a different center reformation today that has kind of taken place, and that center reformation does seem to be roughly around here. If we take a look at the latest COD meteorology, this is the radar animation here, and you can certainly see that it does seem to be somewhat of an organization within this low-level mesoscale feature that did become the established center. You can certainly see, though, lashing rain bands for all of Puerto Rico at this point in time. So still there is a lot of significant weather, rather, on the southeastern side there of Puerto Rico, and even then on towards the western side of Puerto Rico, there is still some adverse conditions, flash flooding, mudslides. But the center should move somewhat like this or like that, and sort of make it scraping the Puerto Rican coast there. Here's St. Croix down there. We have a recon flight inbound right now to investigate Karen. And speaking of the recon flight that was in there from that is heading in right now, they did promote to see some stronger winds right upon takeoff in some of the convection that was just to the west of the St. Croix Island. So this is going to be interesting to see exactly how strong they find the system to be and what the pressure is. We can go back and look here just real quick. The pressure is about 1,008 millibars. This is from TropicalTidbits.com. You can see they are flying pretty much into the center at this point. So we will see kind of what they gather from that. Looking at the IR presentation still, though, it is interesting to note, again, that center reformation and the sustained deep convection over near that supposed low-level center. And it's still a little bit hard to determine exactly where this low-level center is, but roughly in this position across here is where the low-level center would be. And this will continue to track off towards the north or northeast here over the coming days, provided by a weakness in the ridge, the same weakness that is pulling Jerry off towards the north and east. And here you can see here on the official 3-day forecast, this is expected to move generally towards the north and east. And we look here on the 5-day forecast, eventually this is expected to stall somewhere around this region by Friday or Saturday, and this is expected to then make that turn off towards the left or westward. But exactly where that happens is still really hard to kind of pin down at this point in time. It is just very uncertain with the actual 5-day forecast. The 3-day forecast, we pretty much have this short-term motion down and locked at this point, but this 5-day forecast relies on a lot of different things here. If you look here at the track for the spaghetti plots here, the 18Z guidance on Tropical Storm Karen, you could certainly see that the model guidance through about 24 hours is in a pretty good agreement here, very tightly clustered. After about 24 hours, this becomes a little bit more of a difficult forecast because where exactly it makes that turn, how far west or east it is going to significantly matter in terms of the strength and exactly where this thing ends up to be. This is the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center, basically sort of following the mean of all of these guidance parameters here. Most of them, if not almost every one, except the exception of the UK model, does suggest that this will sort of take that westerly turn. So at some point, this will turn west, but exactly where it does that is going to remain a bit up for grabs at this point due to the very uncertain nature with Jerry, which will be kind of out in this area moving through here. So there's a lot to watch there over the coming days with that system. So again, the main takeaways for tonight is Tropical Storm Jerry is continuing to weaken here on approach into Bermuda. Tropical storm force winds are certainly possible there by tomorrow afternoon, along with very heavy rainfall in the rotating bands associated with Jerry. Tropical Storm Karen is getting a little bit better organized right now and is set to impact Puerto Rico with dangerous flash flooding and gusty winds there for most of Puerto Rico and the U.S. British Virgin Islands. And we will continue to monitor the track evolution of Karen. Hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and I will have another video discussion out by tomorrow afternoon. Hope you all have a great evening. See you tomorrow afternoon.